Alright, what's going on? If you don't feel like listening to me talk for 5 minutes, go ahead and skip this video. Don't have any new fishing content. The weather has just been pretty much unfishable this week. Oh. Basically what I'm going to do is just run down quickly lures I always have in my tackle box, like no matter what. If I'm starting to run low on these, I stock up and always have them. And you guys should too. So if I said it once, I've said it a million times. My go-to tried and true lure will always be swim shads, baby.
Nice. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. Come here, buddy. There we go. It's about a 28-inch fish.
I have just about every size and every different color pretty much ever made always in my tackle box. So I actually got a little squirrely this year and bought some Elias swim shads, and they work well. I really like them. I have no complaints about them. I have one little complaint about them. You need to have a jig head for these to work. They're obviously just a plastic mold with no weight or hook in it. With the storm shads, the mold and hook is already included, so you can really just clip on and go. Alright, so I hand tie my own rigs that I use for lures. So basically all you need is a barrel swivel. I got about, I think it's 50-pound monofilament test and tied onto a tactical clip. And basically you roll up on a Blitz. This is tied to your main line. It's as easy as bink, and you're ready to go. You want to try something else? Take it off, throw another lure on. Probably the biggest downside to using soft plastics though is that if you run into bluefish, which if you're fishing the Northeast, you're probably going to run into bluefish. They'll slice this in half a second. Gone.
I got into a lot of snapper blues, which is pretty frustrating because you get this happen every cast. All my soft plastics are just torn to shit.
So yeah, if you see blitzing fish and you're throwing swim shads into them and you're not getting a bite, you're in for a shitty day of fishing. Alright, so another kind of lure you definitely want to have is some kind of topwater plug, whether it be a talking popper, a pencil popper, or even a spook. So basically how you want to work these poppers is just bounce your rod up and down like so, creating a splash, and boom, see the hit right there. That's all it takes. Also, these babies, they're hard plastic, so if you get a bluefish on, no big deal. They're not going to cut you in half like they would a soft plastic. So I guess that leads into another type of lure you should have is some kind of bomber or swimmer. These are good, obviously, for the first reason, like I said. Bluefish are not going to cut these in half. Second, with these, you get a good rattle noise that you don't get with soft plastics, and an excellent side-to-side motion that, I mean, if there's fish around, they're going to hit that. Also, something you always want in your tackle box is one of these bad boys. This is a weighted treble. This one's pretty rusty, but you want these if you bump into full-size bunker balled up near the shoreline. Because usually when there's bait like that, there's big stripers underneath waiting for one fish to drop down just a little bit so they can crush it. Throw one of these out, snag a pogie, make it drop down from the school. You're probably going to hook up with a big fish. And trust me, if you don't have this with you when you see pogies, it is the most heartbreaking feeling.
That is a pocket of pogie right in front of me. Oh my god, where's my weighted treble?
So here you can see those pogie in the middle of your screen. They were splashing and they were spooked, so there was definitely predatory fish underneath them. But unfortunately, I didn't have a weighted treble to snag one, and they pushed out. If you shore fish long enough, I'm sure you've ran into the problem of wind blowing in your face, to the point where you can't get anything out.
We got about 30 birds going crazy. Dude, it would be my luck the wind's in my face.
So because of that, I like to have a couple of Castmasters. These are all rusted and gross, but these are, I think these are around 3 to 4 ounces. And you can absolutely bomb these as opposed to little light swim shad. These cut through wind like no one's business, so it's always good to have these just for the sake of reaching fish. Another lure you want, this just goes without saying, Bucktails. They're striper candy and they catch fish. I don't use Bucktails as much as I should because I have a problem where I fish really rocky spots and they get stuck. So I get frustrated sometimes. But never mind that, always have Bucktails with you. I'm not an LB expert, I only get a handful a year. I know some crazy hardcore guys that only chase albies in the fall. silver and pink epoxies and Albi snacks. In my opinion, those are the best things you can use. A couple tips on some gear you want to have as well is measuring tape that is plastic. You don't want those metal like ones you use to measure stuff to your house. I used to steal those as a little kid for my measuring tape. That'll rust out within 5 trips. You also want to have a headlamp with you in case you night fish. I do it a lot on a whim, so it's just good to have it on me at all times. You want to have preferably 2 settings. A red night vision setting if you're facing the water so you don't spook the fish. Then the classic, bright headlamp for when you're, rock hopping and stuff like that. Pair of scissors, uses to cut braid, cut mono, cut up bait. This is always good to have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a quick rundown on everything I always have with me. Got a couple cod trips coming up, a couple freshwater trips, so I'll be out in the water.